And now we're recording too. And now I gotta go into the Discord and say,
I think we should kick Ghost out and, we should
I
bring in Jarvis
would
and Vic.
accept that I'd rather have Ghost.
I know, I'm just kidding. I'd rather
So,
have, how about, what if we brought Jarvis and Vic in, but it's like a segment called Debating, and
I don't
like a
want to bring
debate
them
segment
both
with just those
in the
two.
same week. I just,
It was
mainly
so,
because I don't
oh,
really want to have multiple guests in the same week. If we bring them on
I just, no,
separately,
like not
that's a
even for the,
separate thing
no,
altogether.
not even
But
for the entire, no, like not even for the entire thing. We called them in for a 5 minute segment called like a debate, and then we just asked them two questions and then they debate it. That's it. And then they're gone. Because
alright,
that's basically what their podcast was
watch
before when
this.
they did it, remember?
Watch this not work.
It's obviously not gonna work. What's not gonna work? Your stream?
I'm gonna post novice podcast twitch.tv/mollybigs22 and the link isn't gonna work for something.
100%, let's go. Done it. We've done it.
It
Let's
did
go.
work. I love it. Alright, time to
You
fix
didn't
that
even
up
link.
real
You
quick.
didn't even. You
I
didn't even
know.
link it. You didn't even link it. You didn't even link it. You did.
Give me a second, I'll fix this. Stream is up though, so that's good. Edit,
Oh, wait,
paste.
wait. Cell said okay.
Look at that. Send Cell the
Okay.
invite, you know?
I have to give it the roll too, then, right?
Yeah, I'll do that.
This is true. We've truly gone to a new low. We've invited a no mic person.
I mean, that's how you win the podcast game. That's how you win the behind the
That's how
scenes
you win
award.
PTS. That's how you win PTS.
Ad
That's how you win
roll,
PTS.
podcaster.
That's how you win PTS. You literally
Cell is in the chat.
don't
Welcome to the
even,
podcast, Cell.
we don't even we literally have a mute host and we're
Active,
gonna win the award.
your job is to Active's job is if Cell has anything to say to let us know what it is. Cell's job is to stop Active from rambling.
This is
This is a
perfect. It'll be
fantastic
great.
job. All right.
This is why we brought
We're gonna
Saul.
actually get started now because this is getting ridiculous. Actually, now that I think of it, we gotta get proof here.
Are
Window
you are
capture.
you ta- are you taking the screen? Are you video capturing the VC with selling it?
This is gonna be really bad, but here goes nothing. Gotta fix it. Oh, this is a high quality podcast. Only the finest. I've put the VC onto the stream.
Can you believe people? Can you believe? Can you believe
Oh,
we're act? This
I
is
can
such a
believe
low
it.
bar.
All
Such a
right,
low bar. This is such a low bar.
we're getting started for real,
This
for
is
real,
low.
for real. So, we're gonna start with a recap of the week 2 games in Novice. We'll start with the game between Active's team and my team, that is Mr. Morale and the Nubsteppers versus the Pokeballs. MNS swept 5 games to none, but all but one of the games were decided by 2 points. The other one was decided by 3 points. So it was like very consistent and pretty close, but MNS just consistently played slightly better than us.
I personally think that I was never worried. Never worried.
You
Never
wouldn't,
in
would
doubt.
you?
Never in doubt. Never in doubt. It's just that's just how we go. That's how we roll.
For sure.
Don't pull up the fact that I said that I thought it would be what 2-3 the series.
You said
Or did I think?
3-2, but then you decided to have team spirit and go 4-1, if I recall
Ah,
correctly.
So look at that. I
Yeah,
wasn't team spirited enough. But
you were pretty close. I mean, your team is definitely good.
fun
Um,
games.
yeah, and they were all fun games. I think my team is just finishing up those last couple things, like putting our touch on it, getting our chemistry all the way there.
Do
And
you
then
think you'll make changes?
I need to kill Moss a little bit less. That would probably help, but I'm not
Yeah.
gonna stop doing that. So I don't know. We'll figure out another way to
Yeah.
win games.
Of course. Do you think your team will make changes come
Um,
at free agency? You are
I
like
think
what?
if
You're
there's
like
a
what?
good enough free
Seventh?
agent available, like we take them because you don't even there's no dropping. I think we'll take an extra player
You're
for
right.
sure. Like I'll
You're
sit an
right.
extra two games if we get like Ducky or Goat or whoever else it might be. Like that's fine.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I guess.
game two of the week. Also a sweep. We had the Harlami Globfins playing against the Responsibles. Responsibles now swept with big plus minus differences. 2 weeks in a row. It does not look good for them. Hopefully they're able to get like an FA pickup and some scrims and that leadership and effort can help them get better. But it does not look good for
I
them right
mean,
now.
mm,
The Globfins, on the other hand, looking pretty good so far.
uh, it's more like I don't
It's
know
hard to
if
tell.
responsibles are dead last because they played two good teams. Because I feel like with the roster they have, they should be in the middle somewhere. They're
I mean
not the worst
they
team.
did definitely play two really good teams to start. It'll be interesting to see. We'll get to it in a little bit how they do against some of these other teams. But it
It's just
definitely doesn't look
mm,
good. That said, they have had, I think, like one or two okay games over the course of these grim
yeah,
sweeps.
they're far and few between these good flashes of brilliance. I realistically don't really I don't really know. And Cell with the great opinion, when was the last time Poet actually drafted a good novice team? You know, that's a good question, Cell.
That is a
I
good question. I
genuinely
don't know.
I don't think he ever has.
Well,
Unless
I
do you
think
count? I don't remember him ever like drafting a good novice team
there
or
are
a good
two
like team in general, except for majors. That's it.
I think there are two things here. One, Poet has a similar style of GMing to me, which is very hands off in general. Like he'll run the team, but I feel like a novice team needs a little bit more of that hands on coaching approach. Which is why my novice teams were always middle of the road because I can't coach. Um, but yeah, also other factor here. Uh, has Homer J been like playing all the way? He seems to have missed a
He
week.
played last.
Yeah, he
He
played
played week
last
one.
week, but he doesn't appear to have played week two, which could also be a factor given that he is one of their better players.
Yeah, they had Chrysalis, Choco, Bambi, and Perpendicular for all 50 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's not really their best lineup, but at the same time, I mean, they're only missing Homer J. To have your other three players
Well, and
like
that's the
you
thing is that
drafted.
I like from the beginning, this team looked like they needed a lot of things to pan out to be a good team at the beginning of the season. And so if your newer, less experienced players aren't really popping off, if Sergeant Ducky isn't playing like completely out of his mind, and then you're missing Homer J on top of that, it's just not a good formula for success. Um, and then as far as the offense, there's just less to say. They're an experienced team. They're playing well. They'll probably continue to play well. I did just beat them in a scrim though, so maybe they're bad now. We can
Who
hope.
knows? But it'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see well what FA the responsibles pick up, and maybe come playoffs they are a well-oiled machine. But for now, two teams, the Harlami and Responsibles, are on two totally different trajectories. So
Yeah. All right. So game three was Rune Scrimitars versus the Land Before Timers. This one I ended up catching like
dude.
the last 2.5 games, and it was just kind of heartbreaking for LBT. They were so close every single game, but they couldn't pull it off except for a game one win in overtime. Like the
Yeah, dude, it's so wild to me. Like, I watched the series as well because I'm like, they're all one cap games. This is insane. And every single game, Rune had the lead, and then LBT slowly chipped away. And it's so weird to me that they just could never get over the hump,
yeah,
or they
well, I mean
always let up early caps. And the thing is, the Scrimitars didn't even have Colmo or Radical with them
they had Como at least for part of it. Um,
for part of it, but he didn't play a lot,
I
I
can
think.
guarantee you
Oh
because
no, he
I'm
played
looking
40.
at
Whoops. Yeah, whoops.
yeah,
Chroma played. I'm
yeah,
thinking they didn't have Rad. That's the only issue. And then,
yeah,
but like even if Rad didn't show up, but then Redcoat comes out of nowhere. He didn't play last week.
yeah,
He comes out of nowhere here with 7 caps and like a bunch of hold.
yeah. I mean, just looking at that game too, like again, it seems like a very momentumy type game where Rune went up 3-0. Then over the course of like 2.5 minutes, LBT comes back and takes the lead. Then Rune ties it up like a minute later and then wins with 14 seconds left. It's just
Yeah, I
super
think
super
Cell's
tough,
right
super close
though.
games.
Everyone knew LBT's like strength was based on how good that fourth ball was because you have Sorry I Suck, you have Ghost, and you have Ice Plat. And then that fourth ball was always going to be like
Yeah,
the issue. I thought Dr. Money would be. Dr. Money's fine. He's a rookie, so I wouldn't expect him to
Mr.
like
Money.
immediately show up. Yeah, I'm gonna call him Dr. Money, so shut up. Because I like that name way better. But it's gonna be interesting to see like which like if that fourth ball, Fender has to maybe coach up that fourth ball because it feels like if they like get better in that area, they
Yeah, I
don't
mean,
go down early
the other
half the
thing
time.
to consider with the potential for two majors drops and the other minors drops that were potentially already going to happen, um, LVT could get a drop here, in which case their top four becomes really, really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
It's just
they.
that
If I'm LBT, I'm praying. I am praying that Dope pulls the trigger on Go and Ducky, and then whoever Peanut gets or whoever Sugar or Peanut replaces, just also follows. So then you got three FAs, and they're standing there in sixth right now. We don't know what the standings will be after week three, but right now they're
yeah,
in position to get one.
yeah,
So, and also three free agents makes the waiver points so much more valuable. So you can play around with those as well.
yeah. I remember waiver points. I also remember getting scammed out of them, but that's a separate issue. All right. Moving on to our last game, we've got Legends of the Splitting Temple against Knights of the Round Tile. And mostly 3 out of the 5 games were good close games that favored LST a little bit, and then the other games they split, but they were not close at all. Um, Having played against LST the previous week, they definitely have a really strong um, like starting lineup. They've got an okay depth, but their depth is not as consistent. So I think that came into play here a little bit. Like I think if KRT was really like on form and they managed to get LST in an off lineup, then the combination of those two things they get a win. But then if the opposite happens, swings completely the other way. And then most
Yeah.
of the games in
Yep.
between. LST, I think, is the slightly better team right now, but I don't know.
Are they though?
I think so.
Aura Aura is an old player. Like he's really old. Even I don't remember when he played. But it's like it seems like he's actually like a very old player. He's come back and he's looked really good.
Yeah,
I do agree with you on the lineups being like the main factor. You see game 1, Knights of the Round Table 180 against the lineup of LST with JK, Zumi, Randy and Corinth. And then game 3, Knights of the Round Table have the same lineup in, but they lose 1-9 because you have Past the Flag and Swagstein in for the other two. So it's just lineups. The lineups here are so volatile with the results. Eh, both of these teams, I feel like, need one good player to stabilize their rotations.
yeah. I think
Because right,
there are a lot of teams in that position right now. Where like,
yeah, like every it feels like every novice team here has like a decent starting three, and then that fourth player is like the wild card.
yeah, I think
You
the
can
exceptions
either
to
you
that
can
are your team, which is just pretty solid, Harlami, which is already just solid with boomers, and then
and
my
Rune.
team, where both Nas and I
No,
can
no,
just
no, no, no,
are
no,
just. There's
no,
not
no, no,
one
no, no,
player
no.
though. Here's the thing. There's not just one player.
No, I think.
We're both
Mm,
just inconsistent.
mm,
But when we're
I think
popping,
Rune.
we
I
pop.
think no,
Rune is
no,
pretty
shush.
good
I
too.
think Rune's top four is amazing, just due to the amount of experience. At least like they have like a certain pedigree, right? You have Praprov, Kolmogorov, Radical,
Yeah,
who's done well, and even Balsa, even Kala or
Yeah, I guess
Balsac.
it's true that Rune doesn't really have a fourth player who's inconsistent. They've just got a bunch of players who like are not quite at that like top tier, but are all pretty good.
Yeah, I mean also yeah, so like Cell said, the maps do play a role when it comes to the lineups,
True.
right? Some lineups don't really work on certain maps, but then they work better. And now Cell thinks Radical is the best player in the league, and
I mean,
you
Radical's
know,
definitely good.
she's good. She's good. I think we all know how good she is because she's played like, at least for me
Yeah.
and Cell, she's played on our team before, and she's great. And with that supporting cast around her, that Rune team is very spooky because she doesn't have to be the leader
True.
of the defense there.
True.
She can stand, she can hang back, and she can do what she does best. So yeah, these results are, I think these results are pretty indicative of where everyone is right now. I feel like there weren't a lot of upsets. There wasn't like a huge upset I can really see with these after week 1. So like my opinions of these teams are slowly solidifying. Like I think LST and Knights are pretty mid-table teams who could go off if they're fourth. Like if their lineup clicks, they can be really dangerous. LBT needs a fourth ball. Rune, Harlami, and my team are pretty solid. And then responsibles and pokeballs don't really seem to be gelling at the moment. Those are my main thoughts on all the teams, really.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I mean, part of it is biased, but I think that my team is a little bit more middle of the road uh, than Responsibles, but I guess we'll see. Getting into that next week, our first game is the Pokeballs versus Responsibles. Lowest two teams battling it out to see who's worse.
What a toilet bowl. How are we getting a toilet bowl this early in the season?
I,
It's
I
amazing.
I'm okay. I no offense to Responsibles. I think we take 4 out of 5 here. I don't think we quite have the depth and the cohesion yet to pull off that full sweep. And I think responsibles are getting better every week. I think they've got a lot of good potential there. I think it's closer for them than the previous 2 weeks have been, but I think we take 4 out of 5 and have at least one like really solid win in there.
I think you dive for Ducky or you tank for a free agent. I don't know. What other words are the G that means like tank
You mean a D?
tank for goat? What is it? No, Ducky or
Oh,
goat,
you
right? So
forget.
like
Die for Ducky.
dive for Ducky. Uh, what's another
And
word? I don't know.
I still would like to just put it out there. Goat should be in minors,
I
100%.
think I think both of those players should be in minors. They've worked so hard to be
Yeah,
in
I mean, I
minors.
think Ducky could definitely play in minors and do just fine, but I don't think that anybody is going to like take that risk right now. Whereas I feel like Goat with the other like with the minors experience they will. But anyway, this isn't a minors podcast, so back to novice.
Yeah, if you want a minors podcast, you gotta ask someone else because we do not care about any league that isn't
Yeah.
novice.
Hashtag free goat, hashtag free ducky, but that's it.
Okay, I didn't even do my prediction. I think that Responsibles takes 4 out of 5 because screw you.
Dang. Fair assessment
Screw
though.
you.
Good reasoning.
Screw
Well
you.
thought out. All right.
And
Now
oh,
we've got
wait. Oh my God! And Sal thinks that your team will win 4 out of 5. Oh no, 3 out of 5. So
3 out of 5.
congrats,
That's fair.
you outweigh me, even though you're both wrong, obviously, because I know Nas, and if I'm Nas, I'm tanking. I want to be the first. I want to be dead last. I want the free agent.
That's okay. If he's trying to tank, I won't let him. Anyway,
Mm.
next game we've got Land Before Timers with our good friend who hasn't shown up yet, Ghost, against Active's team. On the one hand, these are the only reasonings that should be considered. On the one hand, Ghost hasn't shown up, but on the other
Oh,
hand,
yeah,
Active
yeah.
bad. So it's going to be 2-2, and LBT loses the fifth game in overtime because Ghost isn't here.
I hate you guys so much. I personally think, I mean, this will be the best opponent my team has played so far. But it's not a high bar to clear. I mean, we played the D2 teams that are at the bottom of the standings right now. So, no,
Yeah,
Ghost is playing. He's just not here.
yeah.
He's not here
That's what
right
I'm
now.
saying. Like that was my reasoning.
Yeah, he never shows up. He always says the gardeners are happening, even though it's midnight.
I
He
mean,
always has something to do. It's
I
just,
can confirm. My team was supposed to scrim his team. We had 3.5 people show up, and they had Ghost.
yeah, I don't think his team scrims, which I think LBT is just a vibe team at this point.
Yeah, well, I think that's the issue
But
is that LBT, if they scrimmed, I think
are
by next
good.
week would be like a top two, top three team. But without scrimming, they're just kind of chilling
Well, the
there
thing is, right?
mid-low
The thing is,
table.
right? Once they
If
get a
they,
free agent, if like they don't do well tomorrow and they're bottom two, and they get a free agent, then they start scrimming again. All of a sudden, that team is like you don't have
yeah,
to.
more
They didn't.
realistically though, they get a free agent and they continue to not scrim, and they're
They
okay.
continue not scrim. They continue not scrim, and the vibes just get better.
Yeah,
But I think it's gonna be a 3-2 win over WT.
yeah.
Think.
And my actual analytical thing is 3-2, but I think that those two wins for LBT are kind of close, and I think two of the wins for your team are kind of big.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean, realistically, I don't know how my team's gonna do. Borges and Trapson haven't shown up to scrims the past 2 days, so it's just been the other four,
yeah,
and
is
they've been
Borges
doing pretty
gone
well.
week 4 and 5 or week 5 and 6?
5 and 6.
Gotcha.
So I'm expecting us to not do well then because we play the two top teams that I think will
Yeah,
like make the Nuber. But at that point, I hope we have a decent enough record for those games to be sort of negligible in terms of standings because I don't think we're getting a free agent anyway. so
Yeah.
there's no point.
All right. So then we go to game three for next week. We've got Knights of the Round Tile versus Harlami Lobfins. Um, we've got Sweaty Pete's homecoming against his former captain Jarvis, at least half. Uh, I I do think I like Knights of the Round Tile, but they're just not as consistent as the Boomer team still at this point. I think Harlami takes an easy 4 out of 5, just on their like
Yeah,
overall
the
firepower and
ironic
lack
thing
of
is
lack
like
of like they've got the depth.
Cell is saying Harlami sweeps, but I don't know. I kind of fancy Knights' chances in this series in terms of like preparedness. I feel like this will be Harlami's like biggest challenge yet because you have Sweaty Pete, right? You have Sweaty Pete who is mechanically amazing. Uh, he already is a huge advantage that the other two teams didn't really have. Like, and then you have like a decent defense, like Aura and what JSM, and then it's
Yeah,
not Bambi, it's
no,
Gamma, right? That's not a horrible defense.
yeah. Also,
It's not horrible.
very delayed response to Twitch chat, but Jarvis, regardless of anything else that I say the rest of the podcast in terms of my actual analysis and stuff, no, your team is terrible because you're on it, and that is the only reason I need.
You know what? I agree with that. And the fact that he's listening to the podcast at 12:09 a.m. shows he has no life and college has not been kind to him.
Yeah, but
So I'm gonna say LBT
I
five. I'm gonna
appreciate the
say
listening, but yeah,
Knights. I'm gonna say Knights. I think Knights get 2 games. I think it's gonna be 3-2 Harlami, but it's gonna be
you're
close.
spiting Jarvis by saying that the Knights are gonna get 2 games.
Yeah, because
Uh,
I know that he would think that they're gonna sweep. So
yeah, that's true. That's true. You know, I do think that the Knights are good. I just don't think that they've quite gotten to that point of like I think if this were week 7 and the trajectories continue, then I think this is a really competitive matchup. But right now, I think that Harlami has a significant advantage. All right,
yeah, I guess Sal's right.
La
Scrapper and Whiskey are intelligent enough
yeah,
to outdo the Sweaty Pea
yeah.
mechanical
Well, that's the
thing,
thing.
just like how
Scrapper,
Miami. Oh, you're right, Cell. No, you're right. Miami did lose in the Equidistant 8 last season. I
yeah.
wonder. I wonder how that happened. Jarvis, can you tell me how that happened? I don't even remember. It, I've gotten it in. I've brought it up. All right, I'm good now. Go to the next one.
Jarvis is queuing for a TPM game, then he's gonna run outside. Good plan.
He's here. He's here.
Yeah. All right. Last game, LST versus Rune Scrimitars. I think this is the best matchup of the week. Uh, it's really the only fully even matchup of the week on paper. I do think that, like you said, I think Rune is just
Really?
a little bit stronger. They got a little bit more depth there, a little bit, especially the depth play. And I think they're a little bit more consistent. But I do think both of these teams are good. Like LST kept like destroying us at times, but I do think I'm gonna have to take Rune for 3 out of 5. I think they'll just the depth play will get them that extra game.
It depends on who's missing from Rune. I don't know who's gonna miss this week because Rad needs a one more. Rad has to miss one more week. Brow has 3 weeks to miss. I think he's on 150, right?
Colmo says
Or is he
Radical
on
gone for this next
Radical
week.
gone this week? All right. That's it. Is that it?
Colmo also
Interesting.
says he's on 150 ping this week. If that's true, then it's going to be a lot closer. I think the LST might pull the 3 out
Yes,
there.
but at the
I do
same
think it's still
time,
a close match.
Como on 150 ping
Maybe that
pretty
150
much how
ping
we
will help him
it's
figure out that grab mechanic, you know?
yeah, I don't know. I don't really see a difference between him right now and on 150 ping. I don't think there's going to be a huge difference. Like the guy plays like he's lagging already. So,
Oof.
I think he'll be fine.
I think he plays like
Uh
a defender who's scared to grab.
I
personally.
think I think if you're a defender who's afraid to grab, maybe you shouldn't have signed up as O only. Just
uh,
my opinion.
I think that if you're not going to play the season anyways, maybe you shouldn't have signed up active.
Maybe if I wasn't in a new place, I would have. Unfortunately, life gets in the way.
Just play at McDonald's like Vic. It's not that
Yeah,
hard.
but McDonald's, I'm not gonna. Okay, all right. I'm gonna go out and play until 11 p.m. at a McDonald's.
Yeah, I see no issues with this plan whatsoever.
Yes, but at that then I'm basically at Vic's level, and I don't want to be at Vic's level.
All right. Well,
Vic,
we have now gotten through all
it's
of those
Vic.
games, which means it's time for trivia, where active. In
Kill
a
me,
correction from last week, I did my
kill
math
me,
wrong. So active
kill
is
me,
actually 0 for 3 on trivia so far this season.
kill me.
Um, so what we're gonna do this week is we've got three two-part questions, and in our theme from earlier, it's about minors stats. I'm just gonna
No.
trust you not to look anything up.
Fine, I
Um,
won't look at my spreadsheet of minors
so
stats that I have pulled up.
there are two very important positions to be in terms of minor stats, and that is
I swear to
the
God.
100 niche and the 69 niche because nice.
Okay, okay. I think I know
So
this.
we're gonna go through the O, the D, and the T niche and see whether you can name the 100 and the 69 in each niche from week 3 in minors.
It was just the week,
So
not cumulative.
yeah, just the week, not cumulative.
Oh, dude.
I gotta get you somehow.
Wait,
All right.
can Cell play along, and if she gets it right,
Uh,
then I'm going to commit.
yes, but active has to guess first.
Okay, I'll guess first. So what you
All
want
right.
the
So
100 Onish?
100 Onish and the 69 Onish, and this is a
Okay, so
two-part
the
question. You have to get both parts for it to count.
so you want the 100 Onish and the 69 Onish right now, right?
Yes.
See, the thing is, I was doing stats for minors, for team stats, but the issue is the Harlem Globetrotters game wasn't in yet. So I don't know how it's changed, and I don't know how that matchup went
Yeah,
because the
I'm just
100
going based
Onish,
on what's in right now.
100 Onish, is that game in? Is
I
that
have
Harlem
no
game in?
idea. I
I
didn't check.
swear
I
to
just
God.
went to the page and clicked on the button.
I swear to God. It's just because I'm pretty sure the
Don't look it up.
Onish.
No looking it
Yeah,
up.
I'm not looking it up, but I'm pretty sure the Onish was Balanka for the 100. And I think you sent a screenshot saying you had the 69 Onish. But I don't know if that's changed with the game in. But I'm gonna stick with Balanka on 100 Onish and you on a 69 Onish. Because why not? There we go. That's what I think. Balanka and Smalley. That's my answers.
All right, so I'll put your guesses in.
I swear to God. I swear to God, God, God. Smalley played like 7 minutes of
Yeah, I
minors
played
today.
7 minutes of
yes,
minors.
just yesterday.
I was subbing in for a player who was loaned.
Try to wrap your head around that.
It was a grand old time. I almost didn't
Let me
throw,
look at the
except
rosters.
that's fair. I I uh I almost didn't throw, except that I was upstairs in bed and I was not expecting to actually be needed, and I was, on Wi-Fi and no mic.
This is such copium. I can't believe it.
I'm also just not as
The
good as
cope is
Cell.
actually real. Yeah, if only we were all as good as Cell. I've
Spirit
never
has
seen
asked me to
someone
talk
hate.
about how free agents suck and are unfair, so I'm gonna go ahead and say free agents are amazing. It's the best part of the game, and it makes novice so much more fun. And fun is
I'm
the
kind
only
of
thing that
leaning.
matters in novice. Fairness is
I kind
completely
of
unimportant.
I kind of agree with them though, especially on the
Uh,
minors level. Like peanut and
on
sugar
minors level,
would
yeah, that's a legit complaint.
like
It's just a
peanut and
byproduct of
sugar
like, yeah, it's
are
a
going to
byproduct of
kill it,
not
dude.
wanting to punish the players who, they just signed up and then somebody, definitely not me, had unearned confidence in them. So, all right. All right, so Cell has
All right.
our guesses in as space for the
Corbett.
100 and
Oh,
oh no, space for the
no.
69,
Corbett for 100.
Corvée for
And
100, and
Corbett.
space for 69. Not bad guesses. Unfortunately, uh, Active was right on this one, which
Was?
I did give away by posting my screenshot.
Did it, you
But
idiot.
Balanka
I've done
did
it.
have the 100 Onish, and I did
I've
have
done it.
the
I've done it.
69 Onish in minors this past week.
Get absolutely
He did
destroyed,
he did
Sal.
get one question
Absolutely.
right. Now,
Oh my god, I'm a
importantly though,
genius.
there are still two
I'll say
questions left.
it's not rigged. Not rigged. It's not rigged. It's just called preparation.
So,
Deal with it.
question two for the D-nish. Who has the 100 D-nish
I
and
have
the
no clue.
69 D-nish?
I have no goddamn clue. But I'm assuming if Balanka had the okay, so I know that BBB was complaining that he didn't have the 100 Teenish, even though he had really high Dnish and Onish or something. I'm gonna say BBB had 100 Dnish. That's my first guess. 69 Danish. Oh, so also takes. My 69 Danish. So if you had the 69 Onish and you had one cap in 7 minutes, what would like? Oh, dude, I'm trying to think. Because the 69 Danish is pretty average, right? I'm gonna say just a random name. I'm gonna say Herbert from Knights. Herbert for 69 Danish.
Who'd you say? Sorry, I got distracted.
That's my guess. Let's see how this
Who was
works.
your guess?
BBB for 100, Herb for 69.
Gotcha. And who was Cell's guess for 69?
She's writing it. Let's see how this works. So is the Harlem We the People game like in?
I don't know.
Chunks.
I told you. I just went to the page.
Because Harlem won their games pretty comfortably, so like I saw a 9-1 game in there, I saw a 7 something game in there. I don't know if the game's
I
in.
just went to the website.
It's alright, so Cell has Choxy for 69.
All right. So the answer is BBB was for 100. The
Mm-hmm.
69 DGASP actually also went to a call up in the form of Scrapper. So Scrapper
Oh,
rocking
I
that
forgot he was
69
called
Danish.
up.
Very well played. A good option for a call
Oh,
up if
yeah,
any
he was in
minors
call up.
minors captains who are looking for them.
Oh yeah, he played for LBT. I forgot that. I was thinking it was going to be either a call up or like. So what is Herbert's Danish?
Herb's Danish?
Yeah, I just want to know how close I was.
94.
Oh, he had a good game. I see. I did not know
Yeah.
that. What about Choxy?
Um, Choxy was 78, so pretty close.
I did not know Knights did that well. Who did
Jarvitz
they play?
had the 67, so he would have been a really close guess.
Wait, who did Knights play?
I don't
I
know.
didn't think they'd be that good. Who did they play? Let me check the info hub. Oh, they played LST.
All right.
Okay,
Last question.
that makes
We got that
sense.
teenish. So who do you think has the 100 teenish? And who do you think has the 69 teenish?
Yeah, I have no clue. I know it's not BBB because he was complaining about not having it. I don't remember who he was complaining to because I don't think it's Balanka either. So it's not Balanka or BBB. Who the hell did well? It would have to be. Oh shoot, we did really well this week. I don't know. I genuinely didn't. I don't know anything about the minors results. OPH didn't do that great. Who else has played? Responsible? Did Responsibles do well? Uh, I genuinely don't know. I'm just gonna say. I'm gonna say. I don't even know if the fucking game is in. I was gonna say Blob, but I don't think the game is in for that, so I don't want to say it.
Tell you what, I'll let you put a guess for if it's in and a guess for if it's not.
Okay, if the Harlem game is in, I'm gonna say Blob for 100, and um, I'm gonna say for 69. It would probably be like alone, right? It might be you again. No, I don't think it's you again. I'm gonna say Sweaty Pete, 69-ish.
All
Yeah, I'm
right,
gonna say Sweaty Pete.
and then Cell.
And if it's wait no, and if it's not, and if the game isn't in for Harlem, then I'm gonna say Jake from State Farm gets 100-ish. I don't know how he did, but it seems like he did well.
All right. So then Cell, go ahead and put some guesses in, and then we can pretend that you're right anyway, just so that Active loses.
This game sucks.
That's the real way that it's rigged.
I'm checking this right now. I don't care anymore. Dude, you're not asking any more questions,
You
right?
you were wrong. Yeah, no, this is the last question. If it's a
Let me
tiebreaker,
fucking
I'll come
check.
up with something different. So
Oh, this makes no goddamn sense.
it makes perfect sense. It's
This,
what it
oh, you've
is.
gotta be kidding me. Oh, dude, I was so off. What do you,
But
how does
yeah,
she
but
know? Is she
who's
checking
the
the
one? Who's the
scores?
100-ish and the 69-ish? So all right, and if they're not in, then who you going?
Can we just help her? I feel like she needs all the help she can get.
I don't care.
Yeah, the HDB game isn't in. So, don't fucking.
All right, and then who's the 69? Just pick a pretty good but not amazing player. That's the best advice I can give you. Not a
Immediately
bad
pick
guess.
KT.
That's not a bad guess.
Oh,
But
oh my
no.
god.
You
Oh
did get
my
the 100
god.
dead on. It was Wasa with the who had the sign
Oh
up
my
name of number or
god.
Balanka number one fan. The 69 teenage actually was Gospel of Juke.
It doesn't matter because she didn't get both of them right. So I won.
Yeah, but what I didn't tell you was that round three is worth triple points and partial credit is allowed.
No
Therefore, Cell wins
shot. No
and
shot.
Active loses. Anyway, it's been a fun podcast. This week's
So
podcast is
dumb.
brought to you by Smalley killing his O partner. Smalley killing his O partner.
I'm going to
Classic
murder
novice
someone.
league tag pro.
Oh my god.
Anyway,
I'm
I'm
going to
gonna
murder
kick
a
active
child.
out, and then I'm going to
Going to murder you
then I'm gonna
every
end
goddamn
the
time.
thing. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week. GG's.